This is truly a special place, and I think in time you'll really realize how special it is to be a University of Alabama alum and graduate of a master's degree program. I know when we did some recruiting fairs, I've seen a lot of your faces, and we talked about the value of a master's degree versus an undergraduate degree. And $20,000 right out of the chute is generally what it's worth. But we'll talk a lot about how we are in different economic times. And so what I want to give you a piece of today is kind of expectations about being a graduate student and some things that you can do to set yourself apart to have a competitive advantage. For those of you attending the University of Alabama for the very first time, I'd like to offer a special welcome to you as well. And for those of you who attended the University of Alabama as an undergrad, I actually would like to welcome you too, because this is going to be a very different experience than what you did in undergrad. It's not a fifth year of football. It's not continued fraternity and sorority parties. This is a very serious turbocharged master's programs in business that is going to set you apart from the competition. So I want to welcome really all of you. Some key areas that I would like to kind of focus on giving you some advice would be a couple of things. Number one is contentment. Contentment versus commitment. There's a huge difference. You can all be content just being a master's student, but are you going to be committed? And if you're just content, I'm not sure how the economic situation is going to work out for you. You may get lucky and it may be great, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to take a level of commitment that we haven't seen before, because the truth is there are a lot of mid-career people with layoffs, 12.5 million people out of work. Those are mid-career people who have lots of valuable skills and lots of experience. The day you graduate, you're going to be competing with those kinds of folks. So you can be content being a student and having a great time, and we think you should have fun, but we think you should work hard too. But we would ask you to seek a better way, which is to be committed. The second thing I would like to talk to you a little bit about is work ethic. One of the things that I think I'm most proud about is that at the University of Alabama, when we talk to our corporate partners, all the time they always stress there's just something different about the University of Alabama master's students. A very incredible work ethic. You come in a little more humble than everybody else from some other major schools, and you roll your sleeves up. You're not afraid to do what some people would say are more meager jobs, but you come in, you're ready to work, and you set the world on fire. And those kinds of things pay off with time. Competitive value. I would tell you that an expectation that I think Jan and others in this program want to set along with your faculty is there are so many opportunities that you can do outside of the classroom. You're going to have a chance to interact with the likes of Mike Case almost on a weekly basis around the college. Sometimes your particular area or discipline may be sponsoring one. Sometimes the college is sponsoring one. Just because it's not your area, open yourself and avail yourself to go to those kinds of opportunities to hear executives. You may start in marketing and you could end up in strategic planning. You may start in finance and you may end up doing e-commerce for an organization. So don't sell yourself short and think that, picking and choosing where you go, thinking that you're only pinholed into one area. I would encourage you to do that and look as many opportunities as you can. Personal responsibility. Really, the day that you start owning your circumstances, the better off you are. You can't control life, you can't control circumstances, but you can control your attitude and how you adapt to the things that are going to be thrown at you over the next year, year and a half, or 2 years. What I would encourage you to do is put ink after your name. You are now a brand, and every single day you're going to be selling yourself. So I would encourage you to think of yourself that way, kind of like a business. We're going to provide you with so many enriching opportunities, your head will spin, and you'll see those in the college all the time. But I'll tell you something, our alums and our executives really, really care deeply about you and about giving back to you, and they will do anything they can to open doors and help you. It ceases to amaze me every single week how much our executives and our alums really want to help you. So take advantage of that as much as you can. And there's going to be times where you're going to want to do something else, especially on Thursday nights. But go interact with these key executives as much as you can. They're very important. There will be lots of speakers. I know you can't do them all, but again, take the opportunity to do as many as you can. This is your job for the next year, a year and a half, however long you're going to be here. Treat it like that. And you never know whose path you may cross. It's that 6 degrees of separation we talk about all the time. So I would just encourage you, look around your room, your classroom, your peers, look to your professors. Your professors know an incredible amount of people and industry contacts. Get to know your professors. Let him or her know your interests, because they can open so many doors for you, and I would just tell you to very much take advantage of that. And again, I know you're going to want to go to parties, and that's a good thing too, and go to class. Please go to class all the time. That's a free plug for the professors. But again, this is a job. Every day that you have a class time, treat that like a meeting. You wouldn't want to be 5 minutes late. You wouldn't want to come in with a baseball cap on. So you're making an impression at every second. It's just the way the world works now that you've stepped it up. By saying you want to go to a master's program, you've stepped the game up. So the stakes change too. They're very much higher. So choose wisely, always be positive, and understand that you're making an impression. And this is a great place to push yourself. And this is the place you want to make the mistakes. So present as many times as you can, get in front of an audience, do speaking, do writing. Make the mistakes here, because they're not career limiting inside those four walls, but they might become career limiting when you go out and graduate. Our faculty care about you 110%. I have never seen a more seasoned faculty and a more caring faculty. I spent about 15 years in the industry before I came back to take this role, and I've recruited all over the country at master's programs and hired master's students. I can't explain it, but there's nothing like it. Y'all take advantage of that. They care deeply, and I think that's what makes Manderson so special. Graduate school, it's not the same as undergrad. A boatload of reading. If I could give you one piece of advice, and I was a terrible reader, you need to make sure you get disciplined and try to learn to be a good reader. You're going to have lots of material to read. It is not like undergrad. It is a fire hose compared to a garden hose in undergraduate. So learn to be a problem solver, not a problem. Does that make sense? I can't tell you on an industry how many times I hear that they talk about their employees coming in and say, you know, gosh, our sales are down, that's too bad. Duh. As opposed to, hey, our sales are down, do you mind if I take on this initiative? I think if I do X, Y, and Z, it can help our sales. May I take on that initiative? That sounds so simple, but it's a very rare breed. So learn to be a problem solver, not a problem. Application, take away. There'll be some things in your classes that you think, I will never use this. Trust me, you will. Pay attention to that. These are experts in their field. If they didn't think you needed to know it, they wouldn't stand up there day after day and year after year teaching it. So give them a little credit on that, although you might think it's boring or stupid. I'm telling you, and I'll tell you that, and they can't tell you that. Listen anyway. Make good choices. Build your integrity, build your intelligence, build your energy. I want you guys to be like, and I can only give sports analogies, sorry, but I want you to be like our football team. When you get out and compete for the University of Alabama, I want other people who are around you to kind of be scared to compete against you. I want them to say, oh no, there's that Alabama marketing student or that Alabama statistics student. Man, every time I'm around them, their knowledge and their energy and their work ethic and their initiative is incredible, and I can't stand to be in the same room with them because they make me look so bad because they are so good. Make sure you do every opportunity you can to do that. I'm telling you, what you will be equipped with over the next 12 to 18 months will give you the tools and skills to do that. Take advantage of it. And finally, I just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts that I thought about leadership that if I were in your shoes, I would work extra hard to do. And I will say this all the time, and the faculty know that I mean this in all respect to them. But in whatever program you're in, there's a set of classes that most people around the world are also taking to call it the masters of whatever discipline you're in. It is those activities that you do outside of the classroom that I think really set you apart. Because when you just do the classes, you look like everybody else all over the world. But when you do the classes plus some of these enriching opportunities, that's what sets you apart. And I call that going the second mile. And what I've learned about the second mile, there's not a whole lot of traffic on that mile. So make sure you stay out there and get on that second mile. If I could tell you anything too, just like Mike Case said, I would work on developing your vision, work on developing your communication, your people skills, and that sounds so easy, but those are so difficult. Relationship skills, thank you notes, following up with people, learning to call them by name, learning to associate with them, treating others well, treating people up and down like they're more important than you, leading with humility, learning to do that would be great. Character, competence, boldness, and again, I can't stress enough, leading with humility. So as somebody who's sat in your chair before, I hope that helps a little bit to set some expectations about being a graduate student at the University of Alabama. It's truly different. We're thrilled that you're here, and I wish you all the very best. And if we can do anything, please let us know anytime. Our doors are always open. With that, roll tide, and thank you very much.